Hey guys, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Nick, and I'm a youth worker at the Wiley Church. And I didn't particularly want to come in here and do this. It's not really my personality. I'm kind of an introvert. I don't like to be in front of people. But ever since Christy and Crystal's talk, I've just felt this urge. I felt God just yelling at me nonstop. I mean, literally every single minute of the day to just come in here and share my story with you guys. I feel like it can provide a good contrast to maybe some of the stuff you've heard so far. So here we go. I wrote this down because I don't want to make it too long and too boring and kind of get monotonous, but I don't want to leave anything out. So I'm just going to read you what I wrote, and I hope y'all can take something positive out of it. So I grew up not ever knowing my dad. He split before I was born, so most of my childhood it was just me and my mom. My grandparents were around and they helped a whole lot, but it was mostly just my mom doing the best that she could. And unfortunately, that didn't include going to church on a regular basis. We believed in God, but we only went to church on Easter and Christmas and special occasions like that. I never truly knew who Jesus was and what he did for us until I started studying with Ronnie in the spring of 2008. So my story really starts when I was in high school. You know those jackets that Christy and Crystal talked about the other night? Well, I wore every single one of them plus some. I was all about myself. I played several sports, and boy, I just thought I was hot stuff. When I started down that path of destruction, I did it big time. Those big three that are talked about so much, I did all of them to the T. At the end of my sophomore year, I started drinking, started smoking some pot, and started having sex. As I progressed through high school, I started drinking more often, and all those other sins in my life got bigger and bigger too. By my senior year, I had gotten suspended from a football game because I got into trouble with the law. I quit basketball, I quit track. All I really wanted to do was smoke pot and drink with my friends on the weekends. And then it was time for me to go to college, where there was no mom, there was no curfew, and there were no boundaries at all for me. So what do y'all think happened to me? Yeah, I didn't get any better, that's for sure. My sins got bigger and bigger. In fact, they got so big that I had no sense of right and wrong. And in college, and even towards the end of high school, there was only one thing that I wanted from girls. I'd never once talked to a female where I genuinely cared what she thought, or what she said, or how she felt. I was all about myself and what I wanted. In fact, there was one point in my life that I didn't even believe in God because I thought my life was so great. I had never known God, so I thought if he truly existed, then surely he wouldn't allow my life to be this awesome. And by awesome, I mean drinking and smoking pot on a daily basis. And I mean every single day, literally every day. That's what we did, me and my friends. Little did I know at that time that God had a plan for me, and he was keeping me safe all those years, even though I did a whole bunch of stupid stuff. I completely abandoned him and turned my back on him, and he still loved me. And that's the reason I'm here today. So I know what you guys are thinking. You're saying, well, Nick, you're here now, and you look like you're a good guy. You were a total sinner back then, and I'm still young. So can't I just have some fun, I'm still in school, I'm young, let me have some fun, and I'll come back to God when I get older. Well, the truth is, no, you can't do that. Because like I said before, God had a plan for me all along. And he blessed me, and he kept me safe. There were many of my friends in my crew that weren't so lucky. Two in particular stand out to me. One of my friends, Chad, is no longer with us today because the stress of trying to be cool was too much for him to bear. He ended up killing himself before his life ever really got started. And then there's another friend of mine named Brian. Brian is serving several years in federal prison right now because he killed his best friend. His absolute best friend in the world. He killed him in a drunk driving accident. And the sad part was that was Brian's third or fourth drunk driving accident. He just never learned. So here we are. It's 2011. I may look like I'm okay now, and I'm doing a lot better than I was, but the truth is, every day I still struggle with the habits I developed back then. It's a lot easier to make those decisions every day. Every day gets easier and easier. But I still have to make the decision to stay on the path to God. That's why we stress to you guys to make the right decisions now. Because every decision you make now is a building block. Every decision is a piece of whom you will become tomorrow. And if you're not careful, before you know it, all those bad decisions you make will build a fortress of sin around you that is completely impossible to break down. That sin will suck you down into the depths of hell and you'll never return, just like my friend Chad. So please, guys, take advantage of the love and support you're receiving this week. Make that difficult decision now to live for God and stop living for the world.